And welcome to 2 and 3D. So today we are going to be dealing with something a little bit different from what we usually do. This is still an Adobe Character Animator puppet, but okay, I am sure you have seen all those faceless channels where you see a character in suit, like an image, and then they will just change the face and they'll be able to animate the character talking. And normally they do those in After Effects, and I am sure it will be a hassle for them. It will be really difficult for them to pull it off on in Adobe After Effects. So I thought of it and I was like, okay, this is something you can actually do in Adobe Character Animator, and it will be very sleek and very simple. And that's what we are going to be dealing with today. So I had already started, but I am sure you'll be able to follow along. So let me just minimize this. Let me just make this a little bit smaller. So this is my character Vreng. I am starting a channel, a faceless channel like this. So this will be kind of my mascot. So what we have here is actually images. I made so many images of this guy in suit, and I made it in Blender. In fact, let me show you that quickly. So my Blender, let me just activate that. Okay, so you can see this is the character in Blender, and I have posed the character. So in every frame, you can see the character changing positions, and even the camera change position. So you can see you move, and if you just need to allow it to load so that you see. So this is actually a toon shader kind of shaded character. So I will cover this in a future video, hopefully when I go into Blender fully, because I love Blender a lot and I am going to be making tutorials about it. But just note that this is a 3D character that I posed into this, and I got rid of the head of the character. So initially I made the character with a head, but I got rid of the head and then just made it empty because there's no point to have the head, since I would actually be making the head separate. So if I just go through, you can see all the poses that this character would have. And now if we go back into Illustrator, let's just go into Illustrator so that you'll be able to see how I've arranged this character. So you can see these are actually images, linked file. So you can see it's an image. And then I just added one inside of it. This is an empty layer, an empty group rather. And this is supposed to make this layer. If without this layer would just be flat. So in Adobe Character Animator, the layer would not have it will not be something that you can actually put anything inside. It will just be an empty layer. Not really an empty layer, but it will be a non-collapsible layer, so you will not be able to collapse it like this in Adobe Character Animator. And it's important that you be able to collapse it like this so that we'll be able to put the head. So you can see this is the head, and I separated it. It's a separate layer above all of the sequence. So these are all different positions of the body. So now if we go into Adobe Character Animator, I will show you how I rigged this character. Adobe Character Animator. Okay, CH. Perfect. Okay, so now let me go to the rig so that you'll be able to see how this character is rigged. So at first, all you need to know is, okay, a character 1, that is the first position, the second position, the third position. And then what I did was I added a mouth. So I actually drew this. I added a mouth sequence. So not a mouth sequence, rather a mouth vism. So you have the neutral, you have the woo, and all the visms that you need for Adobe Character Animator. And then that is inside the head. And then now we have this head. So I duplicated the head to be head 2. That's why we have head 2 here. Turn this all off, and then I shared this layer. The reason why I did not want to share this, you could actually share this, but the reason I don't want to share this is because the moment you share this, it's a bit difficult to change anything. Like whenever you change stuff, you end up having some issues like that. So, and it will auto update. So I don't want that. I want to be able to change this and then decide to update it myself. But you could actually just make this shareable. So I duplicated this, and then now all I need to do is drag them into each of these layers, and I've done it for 1, 2, 3, and 4. Yes, this is the 4th one. So I've done it for 4. Well, you drag it into a layer, and then you position it however you want. So in this case now, I'm just going to drag it. So we have our head 2 here, which is the shareable head, and then drag it in. Without that one layer that I was telling you about, that empty layer, this will not be collapsible. So it's important to add something into that so that it will be collapsible. Now we have our head. So all I just need to do is drag it up, and this character's head will just be in one profile. You could actually make whatever profile you want, but my character, I just wanted it to be in one profile. So now we will drag this, position it correctly, just position it. And I want to make this video as short as possible. So I am not going to go through all of this and do it. So I'm just going to show you. So I position this head, and now this is actually a trigger. So this, if I press R, this whole profile will trigger. This whole positioning will trigger. Let me do it for another layer, and then we'll go and test this out. So number 6. So like for this one, okay, so all I need to do now is drag our head, drag it into 6. That's our shareable head. And then now I just need to position it right. So let's select it, drag it up, and now I'm going to flip it. So let's flip it on the x-axis. And this is why I wanted to show you this one in particular, because we are going to be manipulating the thing a bit. So flip it on the x-axis and then rotate it. Let's rotate it like this. So like this is fine. But I am not satisfied because it's supposed to be in front. So this is supposed to be in front. So I am not completely satisfied with what I am seeing right here. So what I am going to do is, I am at number 6, I am going to duplicate this number 6 in Adobe Illustrator and then overlay it on top of this character, because the hands are supposed to be on top of his head. So if I just drag this down like this, it will not work, because then we'll be having this weird thing here. But alternatively, what I can do is I can also just go into Adobe. Let me just show you quickly. So let's go into Adobe Illustrator. Okay, so in Adobe Illustrator, what we are dealing with is number 6, right? We're dealing with number 6. So at number 6 here, let me just turn this head off. At number 6 here, what I think I would do is I'm just going to make this black. Just come in and let's just drag this like this. Sorry, I don't know why the thing is taking so long. Okay, so I'm just going to just draw a line. Not a line, a square. Just draw a square, and then let's just position it like this. Okay, I think it's fine like this. Okay, I think so. So I'm going to save, and because this file is kind of large, I will just pause this video for a little while, and then we'll come back and continue. Okay, so we are back, and now we have our head. So we dragged it just below, and now that box is creating a mask sort of, so it's now properly aligned, even though this is not supposed to be showing, but I could fix that later. So that is it for at least this. So now let's go into our record and test this out. I just remember that I have already assigned some of these profiles to, what is it called? I've already assigned them to keys on your keyboard. So all you just need to do is to press a key, and that is what I'm going to be doing. So I'm going to be manipulating our character with a key. So one thing that I added that I forgot to cover is these are actually scale values. So if you drag this is the default scale, so it's at 100, and then we scaled it down to 95% on the y-axis, and then we scaled it back y, and this is supposed to add in a jump kind of thing. So initially, normally, if you just switch this your character now, so if I just switch it to, okay, if I just switch to this like this, you see it's nice, but it's not perfect. So we need to actually make it so that it will be like there's an actual movement, like the character is moving, and that is why we actually added this scale value. So you select this scale value when you have created yours, you select it, and then let's just do that. So you select, right click. I don't know if this is displaying, it's not displaying. So you just right click. You just need to right click. So when you right click, then you create replay and trigger from keyframes. So you create replay and trigger from keyframes. When you do that, you now get a trigger like this, and I named the scale. You can name it whatever you want. So, and I assigned it to the number 1 key on my keyboard. So now if I press just 1, you can see our character is bouncing, and now all you need to do is to combine it with one of those other profiles. So right now I'm pressing 1, I'll be pressing 1 together with W, and you just see how nice the movement is. So 1 and W, so you can see the switch it's kind of natural. You can see the movement, it's kind of natural. And you can just keep going and maybe do something like this, and you can see as I'm talking, the character is also talking, because the head is shareable. So that's pretty cool. You can do this just so you see that's actually made the movement kind of natural and very, very nice. So just take note of that. And I believe that is all for this video. I ended up taking up close to 10 minutes, but it's fine so far as you've learned something. So thank you for watching, and just give us a like, give us a sub if you have no sub to this channel, and it will help us to reach more people and also help us to reach you with more content like this in the future. Thank you, and bye for now.